Hey, it's Nir Bashan here, author of The Creator Mindset. Welcome to Coffee Break, a McGraw-Hill show. I am so happy to have fellow McGraw-Hill author, Communication Essentials. It is Trey Guinn. The Guinns are grateful. The tools you need to master every type of professional interaction. Trey, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to have a coffee break.
Awesome. Let's get right into it. Trey, this book it's really cool, and I've already started marking it up. But why is it so important right now?
I'm glad that you asked. Com Essentials to me is a book written for everyone. It is important now. I do believe that, but I believe that it'll be important years from now. And that's because the insights of this book always take us back to our pivot foot of the essentials. Communication to me is like eating. I've been doing it my whole life. I'm going to do it the rest of my life. But just because I've been doing it forever doesn't mean I'm actually any good at it. And I often wake up thinking about how I can eat more nutritiously. And so similarly, if you are a nervous communicator or if you are a world-class communicator, we got to wake up and we got to ask ourselves, what can we be doing today to increase our effectiveness? That's the whole goal of the book.
Trey, I love it. And I think it's such an important message. Communication, speaking, doing keynotes is so important to me. It's parcel of my life. But, you have the critics out there, right? You always have those people who say, I took a class, a Toastmasters class. I know how to do this. I don't need this book. Or they say, I read an article about it. It's got to be like, I'm reading some article, like a running article. I could probably run the Boston Marathon, right? What do you say to people like that?
I say, you know what? Give the book a shot. Because if you look at your own life personally, if you look at your life professionally, you will find there's breakdown in communication. Message sent is not always the message received. One of the reasons that I like this book and that I advocate for it is because it's so simple in message. It's not the first book written on communication. It won't be the last, but this book is a great reference guide for many. In the second part of the book, I talk about how to be a star communicator. I'm a simple-minded person. I like things that are simple. And a star has 5 points. And just like communication, every act begins with a goal. Attainment of that goal is dependent on audience perception of the messenger, their message, and the medium that it was sent through.
Speaking of the star, look at this stuff, man. This is just so straightforward. You've got, very, very approachable language in this thing. Nobody's trying to, do anything other than communicate very clearly. The book is written as somebody who is literally a master communicator. There's quizzes in it, and you can kind of take this test and see how good you are at communicating. Trey Guinn is my guest. The book is Communication Essentials, and it is a very, very important book. Trey, how did this book make us more creative?
That's an excellent question. One of the things that I talk about in the first section of the book is that we are like water jugs, and that you and I are like a Kool-Aid. We each have our own Kool-Aid pouch that makes up our personality, but it's our life experiences that pour into us. Now, when I'm working with a client, they always want help on what's coming out of the jug. Hey, help me interview better. Help me present better. And you know what? If you had an interview tomorrow, I wouldn't start doing the inner work. I would say, okay, let's work on content and delivery. But if I'm working with someone on the long haul, and that's what I hope that people that buy this book aren't just going to read it once, they'll reference it again and again. I invite people to do that inner work that says, how do I clean out those messages and experiences that are hindering me from communicating my best at work, at home, up the career ladder? And so when you talk about how do we become more creative, part of it is mastering our communication with individuals so that we can unlock potential in groups. But part of it is also unlocking that potential within by getting out that junk. Those negative messages.
I love it. So important. He talks a lot in this book. My guest, Trey Guinn, Communication Essentials, the book. Talk a lot about family in this book, a lot of honesty, a lot of kind of no BS approach to communication skills, a lot about how negativity can kind of bring us down and how to work through those items. For that section and that section alone, I highly recommend the book, Communication Essentials, the tools you need to master every type of professional interaction. Trey Guinn, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. If I could leave a last word, be a communication student for life.